So, on to the last segment here. What do you got to tell all 7 of my viewers? What do you have to plug? Anything you're working on? You need to tell the world.
If you're looking for getting involved in something, the entrepreneurship program at UNL is open to you. We'd love to get people involved. We interact with people, not only students, but also folks out in the community. Um, I think the number one thing I would tell everybody is, man, figure out a side gig right now. Figure out another way to generate some income, to do creative, to find those things that give you a little bit of joy, because that's going to be the new economy. So if you've got a skill, start using it, hone it, develop it. Don't wait to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Don't wait to have a lot of money. It's not going to happen. So just get started, and it's all about starting. I mean, I really believe that is the key to life in general. I mean, every person I know is successful. Everything I've ever done that worked it all happened because we just started and we kept going.
Yeah, you're talking about side gigs. Don't go price gouging, all right? That's not what he means.
No, that's not what I mean at all. I mean,
Don't end up with
like
the guy in Tennessee.
figure out that way to create value out in the world, and it's amazing. I mean, I've got uh, I've seen all kinds of people working on all kinds of neat stuff, and it's an opportunity. Find people to serve, and good things happen.
Yeah, of all the people that are seeing this, because Tom is, how should I say this, can get more bodies than I can. For the people that are joined just for Tom, we're always looking for sponsors. We're only at 96. But you know what? 7 of those 96 people do watch. And let me tell you this, those extra 7 people could be valuable to your business. This is my best sales pitch I've ever given. I've even sold a baby before, so that's a whole story.
That's for a whole nother episode.
It wasn't a real baby, it was a doll. I don't remember if he said it was a doll or a baby. And I asked him, like, well, is this a doll or a baby? He's like, run with it. I'm like, oh boy, all right, if you really want to go with this. It was a mock interview at school my senior year. Oh man, that was an interesting interview. This is the Baby Nader 9000 with realistic crying or something. I don't remember what I said. But they said it's probably one of the best baby salesmen they've ever seen. It always surprised me. I watched all kinds of people try and sell the baby, and it was hard to watch them. And I was just like, geez. And then they also even told me, like, I don't remember where I learned this, but the pen salesman, how you need to sell a pen. And you need to and maybe that was when I got hired for my job. They told me, well, if you had to sell a pen, how would you sell a pen? And they're like, here's how you sell a pen. You go and talk about how it benefits them. Not talking about the features. Don't make stuff up. I mean, you can. It's just not a great idea because, make something about this pen being the best in the world, and it's just some off-brand Chinese pen that doesn't work half right. You need to do something right. But, I don't know. Usually we have something, usually this last segment's pretty filler anyways, because it's like, well, geez. Either this last segment drags on forever, or it's super short. And sometimes it happens where it's 6 minutes of me trying to get everybody under control. If you've seen Podcast 31, where I was being beaten with a yardstick, and I had to just,
you're gonna have to get security. You're gonna have to have a little security on the set in the future, man.
Well, Will is kind of on probation for the next 26 podcasts. And I don't have to worry about him breaking a podcast. I just have to worry about him just destroying everything else. But he's a decent cameraman. He's better than Phil or Kyle, I'll tell you that much. And I can say this because I know damn well they're not going to watch all the way this through. And if they are, that's the first time they've ever done that. Only like 3 people make it this far in the podcast, so I know every single one of them. So now, would you say this podcast is approved for Tiffany to come on? I really want Tiffany, so I can work my way up through the chain of command. You've heard my plan.
Yeah, you ought to just call her up, and I'll bet she'll do it.
I need to get her. I have her email on a business card. I just need to write it up. But obviously, my biggest guest of all time. I mean, like, geez, I gotta, like, and hopefully she can get more bodies, and I can get Ronnie Green on here.
Well, yeah, you get Tiffany. She's a rock star. I mean, I'm like the JV, and then get Tiffany. She's varsity. Then get Ronnie. He's the power broker. You'll be rocking and rolling.
Oh man, oh, just can you imagine? It's like, oh, you've heard about this podcast, right? Yeah, he just has administrators from UNL on all the time. Well, what kind of podcast is
Yeah.
that? Well,
Yeah, that might be a brand killer.
Well, speaking of brand killers, I had this idea, and I was actually editing a video last night. And if I had already had the idea like a month ago when I recorded the video. It says, what if we set up a Tinder account for the YouTube channel? So, you got you got screenshots from the videos, you've got some funny description or whatever, and then you just go through and you just swipe constantly all day. And then people match with you, and you're like, so have you subscribed yet, or what are you waiting for? I'm like, it could work. It's an idea. It's free, and I could probably get a whole video out of the deal too.
Yeah, you could actually have some fun with that. You could do some really funny stuff with that. I'd go back and watch some David Letterman from the days of old. That he would have man in the street stuff. He would have had a blast with that.
Well, speaking of having people on the street, we didn't do it like to the full extent we wanted to, but I think was it the last vlog? No, it was the vlog before the last one. We had our masks, and we went and walked around campus like that week after it shut down. And it's ironic. I bought these things like when there was like maybe 20,000 cases in China, if that. And I told everybody, it's coming. It's only a matter of time. And at the time, it seemed more world-ending than it is. But I mean, back then, like, the economy dipped. Dow Jones was down today by a little bit, but then it was up the next day. And everybody's like, everybody's talking about, it's just some stuff that might happen. I kept telling everybody, it's going to happen. And then the day my roommates moved out, one of them told me, gosh darn it, you were right the entire time. You told us you told us a month ago that it's coming. Damn it, you were right. I'm finding that happening a lot recently where I'm like, I told you it's going to happen. Here we are. You have to wait in line to go to Walmart if there's too many damn people there. Well, at least the primaries are over now.
Yes. Amen.
Now we don't have people staying outside and people not wanting to run the voting booths because, well, who wants to do that? Although, this whole thing with P. Ricketts, it baffles me. I saw an article on Facebook. It wasn't a real article because I tried to find it later on, just doing my own research. Unless you went to that specific site, you couldn't find it. But it was like, Pete Ricketts tells the Nebraskans, if you want to see football next week, stay home. And I'm like, why don't you just issue a stay-at-home order? Oh, wait, he never said that. Somebody made that up. And I was just like... But actually, now that I think about it, what do you think next semester is going to look like? Are we going to still be online? Or do you think there's even going to be football?
I don't know. I think it's hard to tell. I'm not going to make any predictions about big gatherings like a football game. Who knows? I would be stunned if schools aren't back in session at some level, and I think the university. I don't know what the university do. I don't even want to predict because it's so unknown. But I suspect that we'll get back into business, and I think there'll be all kinds of things that are going to change. I think as in the future, I think you won't walk into hardly any public place without getting your temperature taken, and it'll be automated. Eventually, it'll be automated. I mean, there's going to be huge, and just in the technology space, there's huge opportunities in this thing. And I guess I'm still a believer that we're going to find a way to get people back together because it's in the long run, the pain to society with extended social distancing, I think there are all kinds of mental health things that got to be addressed there sooner rather than later. So I'm hopeful we get back to business. Is it going to be business as usual? Probably not, but that's okay. New experience, new learning, right?
Right. Yeah. This is definitely one experience, and it's all kind of ironic when you begin to think about it. It's like, oh, Trump disbanded the pandemic force, saying, "Oh, we can get it back anytime." Year later, oh look at that, we're in a pandemic. I, it's just, well, I told you. A lot of people can say, "Well, we told you so. We told you it was gonna happen." I just can't believe it happened the way it did.
Yeah, well, and there's a lot to be learned about what really happened, and we'll figure that out as we go. I mean, the name of the game is get in the moment, uh, find the joy in what you got going, do something creative, start a side gig, make something happen. Uh, I'm a big fan of not getting caught up in this thing to the point that it shrinks the way we see the world and shrinks the way we think. So think big, be active, get headphones, start a podcast. I do like the pink headphones, by the way. Those are
Oh, thank
very
you.
becoming.
I wanted PewDiePie headphones, but he stopped selling his at the time I had the money to buy them. And then 3 months after I bought these, he came out with new ones, and I was like, "You gotta be freaking kidding me!" So I'm like, "Oh, now I'm stuck with them," but I like them anyways. And on that note, I guess you already gave your final words, really. I guess your final words were, "I like the pink headphones." So, on that final note, might as well quit while you're ahead. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcast every other Friday, 2 p.m. Central Time. Leave a comment down below if you want Tom to come on. Again, we can have him come on in a month. Hell, we can make this a every other month deal or every month deal. You know, every whatever. Anyways, good night.
Adios.